स्तोत्रषद श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्णा गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन धाम की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय। यमुना माई की जय। गंगा माई की जय। भक्तिमती तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर ऑल ग्लोरीज टू दी गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. 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 All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhu bhayavcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayan Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiriyet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. Hare Krishna. Thank you for assembling this morning for Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are reading from Canto 2, Chapter 6, Purusha Shukta Confirmed. Text 43 to 45. So there will be three shlokas or verses. So maybe we can repeat only one. Repetition can be done only for one. And then we can go ahead for translation. Aham bhavo yagna ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavad adhyascha cha sarvalokapala khagalokapala narkalokapala stala lokapalaha. Aham bhavo yagna ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavad adasya cha sarvalokapala khagalokapala nrakalokapala stala lokapalaha. Aham bhavo yagya ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavad adasya cha swargalokapalaha khagalokapalaha narkalokapalas talalokapalaha. Anyone?
Mataji, we cannot see the sloka on the screen.
I'm sorry. I don't know who shared the screen.
I have the screen up.
But Mataji, this is not the...
No, this is not the no sloka.
Not, let me
Okay.
Share my screen.
The screen we have is Leelamrit.
Yeah. Okay, so this is my screen. So this is the first sloka which I was reading. So if anyone likes to repeat, they can repeat and then we can proceed further.
Go ahead,
This one. Yes, Prabhu, go ahead, please.
Okay. Aham bhavo yagya ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavadadayascha swarlokapala kagalokapala nrulokapala stalalokapala.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Aham bhavo jagna ime prajesha Dakshadayo e bhavad adayascha Saralokapala Khagalokapala Naralokapala Talatala Palaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Aham bhavo yajna ime prajesha dakshadayo ye bhavat adyascha sarlokapala kagalokapala nirlokapala talalokapala. Hare Krishna.
Hare,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Aham prabho yagya ime prajesa dakshadayo ye bhavada adiyascha Svarlokapala Khagalokapala Nilokapala Satalokapala. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Aham bhavo yagaimi pratisha dakshadayo ye bhavad adayascha Sharlokopala Khagalokapala Nilokapala Stalalokapala.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so let me read further. Gandharva Vidyadhara Charanesha Ye Yaksha Raksharoga Naganataha Ye Varishinam Vrishabha Pitrinamam Datyendra Siddheshwara Danavendra अन्य च ये प्रेता पिशाच भूता कुसुमंदा यतो मृगा पक्षे अधिशा यत्किंच लोके भगवान् मही महास्वाद ओजसः स्वाद बलवत् क्षमावत् श्रीहरि विभूति आत्मवाद अद्भुताराणं Tatvam param rupavad aswarupam. Synonyms. Aham, myself, Brahmaji. Bhavaha, Lord Shiva. Jagnaha, Lord Vishnu. Ime, all these. Prajaishaha, the father of the living beings. Daksha Adya, Daksha, Marichi, Manu, etc. Ye, those. Bhavad, yourself. Adya Cha, and the bachelors Sanat Kumara and his brothers, Swargaloka Pala, the leaders of the heavenly planets, Khagaloka Pala, the leaders of space travelers, Narloka Pala, the leaders of mankind, Talaloka Pala, the leaders of the lower planets, Gandharva, the residents of Gandharvaloka, Vidyadhara, the residents of the Vidyadhara planet, Charana Ishaha, the leaders of the Charanas, Ye, as also others, Yaksha, the leaders of the Yakshas, Raksha, demons, Uraga, snakes, Naganatha, the leaders of Naga Loka, below the earth, Ye, others, Va, also, Rishinam of the sages, Rishipaha, the chief, Pitrinam of the forefathers, Daitya Indriya, leaders of the atheists, Siddha Ishvara, leaders of the Siddhaloka planet, spacemen, Dhanva Indriya, leaders of the non-Aryans, Anya, besides them, Cha, also, Ye, those, Preta, dead bodies, Pishacha, evil spirits, Bhuta, jinn, animals, Kushmanda, a special type of evil spirit, Yadaha, aquatics, Mriga, animals, Pakshi Adisha, giant eagles, Yat, anything, Kim, Cha, and everything, Loke, in the world, Bhagwat, possessed of Bhaga, or extraordinary power, Mahaswat, of a special degree, Oja, Shashwat, specific mental and sensual dexterity, Balavat, possessed of strength, Shamavat, possessed of forgiveness, Shri, beauty, Hri, ashamed of impious acts, Vibhuti, riches, Atmavat, possessed of intelligence, Adbhuta, wonderful, Arnam, raise, Tatvam, specific truth, Param, Param transcendental, Rupavat, as if the form of Ashwarupa, not the form of the Lord. Translation and purport is Divine Grace, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. I, myself, parentheses, Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, great generators of living beings like Daksha and Prajapati, yourselves, Narada, and the Kumaras, heavenly demigods like Indra and Chandra, the leaders of the Bhurlok planets, the leaders of the earthly planets, the leaders of the lower planets, the leaders of the Gandharva planets, the leaders of the Vidyadhara planets, the leaders of the Charanaloka planets, the leaders of the Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Uragasa, the great sages, the great demons, the great atheists, and the great atheists and the great spacemen, as well as the dead bodies, evil spirits, satans, jinn, kusmandas, great aquatics, great beasts, and great birds, etc. In other words, anything and everything which is exceptionally possessed of power, opulence, mental, perpetual dexterity, strength, forgiveness, beauty, modesty, opulence, and breeding, whether in form or formless, may appear to be specific truth and the form of the Lord, but actually they are not so. They are only a fragment of the transcendental potency of the Lord. Purport. Those in the list given above beginning from the name Brahmaji, the first living creature within the universe, down to Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Narada, and other powerful demigods, men, supermen, sages, rishis, and other lower creatures of extraordinary strength and opulence, including the dead bodies, satans, evil spirits, jinn, aquatics, birds, and beasts, may appear to be the Supreme Lord, but actually none of them is the Supreme Lord. Every one of them possesses only a fragment of the great potencies of the Supreme Lord. The less intelligent man is surprised to see the wonderful actions of material phenomena, as the aborigines are fearful of a great thunderbolt, a great and gigantic banyan tree, or a great lofty mountain in the jungle. For such undeveloped human beings, merely the slight display of the Lord's potency is captivating. A still more advanced person is captivated by the powers of the demigods and goddesses. Therefore, those who are simply astonished by the powers of anything in the creation of the Lord without any factual information of the Lord himself are known as Shaktas, or worshippers of the great powers. The modern scientist is also captivated by the wonderful actions and reactions of natural phenomena, and therefore is also a Shakta. These lower grade persons generally rise to become Shauryas, worshippers of the sun god, or Ganpatyas, worshipper of the mass of people as Janata Janardhan or Daridra Narayan, etc., in the form of Ganpati, and then rise to the platform of worshipping Lord Shiva in search for ever-existing soul, and then to the stage of worshipping Lord Vishnu, the super soul, etc., without any information of Govinda. Lord Krishna, who is the original Lord Vishnu, in other ways, some are worshippers of race, nationality, birds, beasts, evil spirits, satans, etc. The general worship of Shani Dev, the Lord of distressful condition, and Shitala Devi, the goddess of smallpox, is also common to the mass of people. And there are many foolish men who worship the mass of people or the poor class of men. So different persons, societies, and communities, etc., worship some of the potent manifestations of the Lord, wrongly accepting the powerful object as God. But in this verse, it is advised by Brahmaji that none of them is the supreme Lord. They are only borrowed plums from the original Almighty Lord Sri Krishna. When the Lord advises in Bhagavad Gita to worship him alone, it is to be understood that worshipping Lord Krishna includes worshipping all that is mentioned, because he, Lord Krishna, includes everyone. When the Lord is described as formless in the Vedic literature, it is to be understood that all these forms mentioned above within the experience of universal knowledge are different exhibitions of Lord's transcendental potency, and none of them factually represent the transcendental form of the Lord. But when the Lord actually descends on the earth or anywhere within the universe, and the less intelligent class of men also mistake him to be one of them, and thus they imagine the transcendents to be formless or impersonal. Factually, the Lord is not formless, nor does he belong to any of the multiforms experienced within the universe. One should try to know the truth about the Lord by following the instruction of Brahmaji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Maum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. Today is a very auspicious day of Shatila Ekadashi. And so speaking Hari Katha and listening about the Lord Supreme Personality of Godhead, both are very auspicious, because when we hear about Lord Shri Krishna and we speak about Lord Shri Krishna, then Shri Krishna takes a seat in our heart and cleanses our heart and makes our way go back to Godhead very clear for all of us. Srimad Bhagavatam is such a glorious scripture that it is called by Ved Vyas and also by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the spotless Purana, and also the essence of all the Vedic scriptures. So whenever we hear about Vedas, so we think that there are 4 Vedas, and these 4 Vedas, whatever we can read, it's the same. But Srila Prabhupada mentions that it's not the same, because there is the gradation of Vedas also, the scriptures also. And in Vedas, there is explanation of Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Upasana Kanda. But as devotees of the Lord, now we understood that how important and the only way to go back to Lord Krishna is devotional service, and that devotional service and love for God, for Godhead Krishna, that is provided only by reading and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. We know there are 9 processes of devotional service which start from Shravanam, but not Shravanam of any mundane topic or mundane literature. It's Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning in one of the classes that crows usually gather to sit on the filthy places because they love that dirt or dirty things. So similarly, mundane people of this material world, they want to hear about politics, movies, about the worldly things, prajalpa, and all these topics which are not related to the God, and which is not going to useful for them in the longer run. But the devotees of the Lord, they are just like Hansas or Paramhansas. They gather together and they try to take the essence from the mixture of milk and water. So Srimad Bhagavatam, whenever we read and whenever we hear, we should always try to think the importance. What is the importance? Why I am doing this? Why I am reading this? What is the importance? Why I am doing anything in life in general? Whenever we go to school, kids start asking why I'm going to school, why I have to do math, why I have to do this. So just like a small innocent kid, we should ask ourselves why I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, why I am discussing about Srimad Bhagavatam, why I'm giving time for hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam topics, because this is the ultimate goal of our life. And the Srimad Bhagavatam will make our ultimate goal of our life very, very much easier for us. And it will tell us what is the most important thing which we are missing out in our life, and that is the connection with the Lord. Nonetheless, Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Lord Shri Krishna. And whenever we read Srimad Bhagavatam or hear Srimad Bhagavatam, we are in the direct association of Lord Krishna. With this faith and with this conviction, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, then we can actually realize the nectar which is there in this Galitam Phalam. Just I'm saying all these for my understanding and for my purification, because I don't want to take Srimad Bhagavatam as a ritual and something which is like my routine. I want to take Srimad Bhagavatam very important in my life, important than my life. So that's why I always talk about the glories first before diving into the verse. So there are so many stories which discuss about glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, but because of the limited time, I cannot explain or I cannot take those stories. But when we read or hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then for sure we are situating ourselves in the platform of transcendental bhakti, in spite of having this gross material body. We are still connecting with Krishna. So with this, let's just start discussing today's verse. So today's verse, this chapter, in the entire chapter 6, Brahmaji is instructing Narada, and Brahmaji is basically telling Narada the real truth, the supreme truth. We know that when Narada saw Brahma meditating, he asked him, "To whom you are meditating? I thought you are the supreme." But Brahma said, "Wait, that's not the truth. Wait, the truth is that the supreme personality of Godhead is Lord Shri Krishna." And he explained that how Garbhodakshai Vishnu is the reason for Brahmaji, and how Brahmaji used all the ingredients which were made by or which were generated by the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then Virat Purusha came, and then how Lord Brahma, he just designed everything. So he is explaining this to Narada. And in the previous verses, we can also see that Lord Brahma is again and again emphasizing on this, that whatever energies or whatever qualities of any living being we are, or living creature we are seeing, they are just the spark of the multifarious energies of the Lord. Now, the point here that the post of Brahma is the highest responsible post within this universe. This is for our understanding. And it is offered to the most perfect personality of the universe. Sometimes even the supreme personality of Godhead has to become Brahma when there is no suitable living entity or living creature is there to occupy that post. So whatever Brahma is saying, we should not, as nobody should think that Brahma is just another living creature or just another demigod who is talking to Narada. So his discussion is just, we can take it very lightly. No, the Brahma is actually the complete representation of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead for this material universe. Brahma, he is the secondary creator, and we can understand that Lord has given him a very responsible position or very responsible job to perform. Jivatma, or the Jivas, when Garbhodakshai Vishnu, in the body of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Jivatmas sleep with their karma, destiny, and also Swabhava, their nature. And Brahma, according to their destiny and nature, give them the suitable body and put them and place them according to their karmas and modes of material nature, by what Swabhava they were affected with. Affected with, he just put them in the different lokas in the three planetary system. This Brahma, this is the job of Brahma. And when we go further in Canto 3, we can see that how in chapter 12 it has been explained that everything is coming out from Brahma. But in actuality, we know very well that Brahma, Lord Brahma, is also getting powers from Lord Krishna himself, or we can say Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu. If we go back, then we can see Garbhodakshai Vishnu, Karanodakshai Vishnu, and then Sankarshana, and then on top Narayana, and then quadruple, and then Balaramji, and the final is Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna, who is the Swayam Rupa. So in this particular verse, and also in the previous verses, Brahmaji is putting the importance on this fact that it's only Lord Krishna who is supreme, and all other living entities, moving and non-moving, and also all the manifestations of the Lord, whether there are Vishnu Tattvas and Jiva Tattvas, right? So Vishnu Tattvas are personal plenary portions of the Lord from Swayam Rupa Krishna. And Jiva Tattva, they are the separated energies of the Lord, but they are still the expansion and part and parcel of the Lord. So they are separated, Jiva Tattva, which we also know marginal energy, and Vishnu Tattva, which is the internal, due to internal potency of the Lord. So these both are living entities, Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. They both, and all other living entities, nobody is equal. So there is no question of being superior to Lord Sri Krishna. Everything is subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it has been very clearly explained in the teachings of Kapila Muni. In the teachings of Kapil Muni, text 2, Kapil Muni is mentioning that how there is no one who can be more than the Lord himself. No one is more worshipable, and no one is equal even. Even the Vishnu Tattvas and also Jiva Tattvas, they all are subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, word Bhagwan, as we all have heard so many times, that Parashar Muni has given a very brief but very precise and very clear definition of the word Bhagwan in Padma Puran, that how the word Bhagwan means one who is full in the 6 opulences: strength, beauty, fame, wealth, renunciation. I hope I covered all those 6. Okay, so in all these 6, in everything, who is in full means 100%, that 100% full. So Srila Prabhupada, in one of his lecture, he was giving an example that God is not like that. If I take a paper and I tear it off, then it's going to make so many parts of that paper, but the original paper is gone. But for Lord Krishna, although these Vishnu Tattvas, Jiva Tattvas are emanating from him, but still Lord is Purna. Still Lord Krishna is absolute, as it is mentioned in Isha Upanishad. Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. That Lord remains Purn, Lord remains complete, absolute truth, one without the second, all the time. Not a single moment that Lord is not complete. So, but his tattvas or his expansions, they are not complete in all these six opulences at any time. So this is the difference. So Vishnu Tattvas, when we talk about Vishnu Tattvas, so it is given in Canto 1, Chapter 3, Shloka 28, where, and the shlok says, Ete Chamsakala Pumsa, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Indrani Vyakulam Loke Mardayanti Yuga Yuge. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned very clearly that a living entity, a Jiva Tattva, can achieve up to 78% of the opulence of the Lord. And that's it. And Vishnu Tattvas, they attain 93% of all the opulences of the Lord. And Lord Shiva, he is 86% of the opulence of the Lord. So here we can understand that although when we see the wonderful things in this world, as Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, that less intelligent people, when they see anything from this material nature, like thunderbolt or heavy rains and big mountains and big rivers, then they get perplexed and they start thinking that this is Supreme Personality of Godhead. In one sense, if we see that, yes, it is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why? Because it is a spark of the various energies of the Lord, as Lord Krishna is also mentioned in chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna mentions to Arjuna that, Arjuna, understand this thing, that all these vibhutis, all these splendors, they are just the spark of my multifold energies. 10.41, it goes like that. Yat yat vibhuti mat satvam Srimad urjitam eva va tat tad eva gachatvam mama tejom sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. That all these things are just the spark of my splendor. So here my point was that although those things are the spark of the splendor of the Lord, less intelligent people start understanding that as Lord. They compare they think that nothing is beyond that. For example, if a scientist just make a very discover something which is impressive to the ignorant mass of people, the common man, without inquiring, accepts such a discovery as wonderful, right? But the intelligent man, he's not stuck with the wonder. Why? Because by such discoveries, why? Because he give credit to the person who created the wonderful brain of the scientist, right? They think that the wonderful brain of the scientist has been created by God. So that's why the scientist is able to discover the wonderful things. So they give credit to those people. They give credit to only the Lord, the wonderful, the intelligent people. So intelligent people in many places, Prabhupada has mentioned, intelligent people means the devotees of the Lord who can see the truth. We can come to this part later, who is not intelligent or who is intelligent. But let's just discuss that even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 5.142, it's given, Ekale Ishvara Krishna Ar Sab Bhritya, that there is only one master, Krishna, and all other are his subservient, beginning from the Lord Brahma and all the demigods and the middle lower species, everybody is Bhritya or servant. So again and again in Vaishnav literatures, it has been proved that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here in this verse, Brahmaji is also explaining, and basically he has taken into account all the moving and immoving things, immovable living creatures. And he is mentioning that everybody from me, from Brahma is saying from me up till down the insect, although we can show various qualities, but nobody is God, although everything is coming from the Lord, or everything is nothing but the potency of the Lord. So Brahma is a very good creator. Brahma also have qualities just like God, but it's not present in full. We can see and even Brahmaji was explaining this thing to Narada, that even I am the creator, but again he fall under the illusion of internal potency. And we know the pastime of Aghasura, that how demigods were thinking that this Aghasura is such a great demon, is such a powerful demon, nobody can kill. But when Lord Krishna, he killed Aghasura, and the news went to Brahma, he got bewildered that how come a small child can kill Aghasura. And Brahma got into the trap of Lord Krishna's internal potency, Maya, internal potency, Atmamaya. We call it Atmamaya, the personal potency of Lord. Brahma got into the trap of that. So Brahmaji is explaining Narada that I am not the person, and he is not the person, and that trees are not a person, that mountain is not the person. Now, that beast sometimes, especially because I know from India, people worship everything. They worship animals, they worship trees, they worship anything. They worship snakes, they worship high mountains, trees. But if you are not worshipping anything which is in connection to the Krishna, connection means with the consciousness that because this is related to Krishna, I am worshipping this thing. If we see, devotees also worship plant. We worship Tulsi Devi. If we see, devotees also worship trees of Vrindavan and Mayapur. We also worship. If we see, we also worship mountain, Govardhan Hill, we worship, right? If we see, we also worship the stones, Shaligram Shila. So the people can say the same thing to us, that you guys are also worship the same thing. And here I am saying that people worship snakes, mountains, Himalayas, trees, and this, because if we are not worshipping anything without connection to Krishna, then that worship is useless. That thing which we are worshipping is of no use. That's the point here. So Prabhupada is saying less intelligent people, they start worshipping even the material cosmic manifestation. When there is a disturbance in the cosmic manifestation, they start worshipping anything. So the point here is that yes, it is still the energy of the Lord, but we should understand that who is the supreme. For devotees, Srila Prabhupada has given a very clear explanation that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. From the very beginning, just this line, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. If anyone can understand this, then his Krishna consciousness is complete. So, but the problem is that we are not understanding, or if we are hearing, we are not believing that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, we are going everywhere. We are going everywhere. We are going to those yogis who can do wonderful works, and we are going to so many other things or other powerful things from where we think that we are going to get the advantage. And that's why Srila Prabhupada is calling them less intelligent people. That how from less intelligent people, and Prabhupada has given the process that these people then start become the worshippers of Devi, Shakta. They become Shakta because they start believing on the energy. So sometimes we think that these people who are not worshipping Lord Krishna, they are just atheists or non-believers, but they are the worshippers of Shakta or the energy. And then they come up to the point of Ganpatyas or Shauryas. They slowly they start understanding, okay, Surya or the sun is the most powerful, is most powerful in this material universe. So let us worship Surya or sun. And then in that process, they move up to the position of more developed people. They what to do? They start worshipping Lord Shiva. And from Lord Shiva, they find, they worshipping Ganpatyas or the people or Janta Janardhan or Daridra Narayan. They say, what is the sense of worshipping deities in the temple? Just worship, just help poor people, just construct hospitals, schools, and all these things, and help Janta Janardhan or the general public. And this concept is called Daridra Narayan, that our Narayan is the poor people. When we help poor people, then Narayan is going to go get happy, and our Narayan is these poor people. So we are going to help them. And from this Daridra Narayan, they reach up to the position of Shauryas, and then they reach up to the position of worshipping Lord Shiva. Now, Shiva followers, then they become slowly worshipping Lord Vishnu. If we can see in the purport, the name of Lord Vishnu is also given, that he is also subordinate to Krishna. Why? Because Lord Vishnu is the plenary portion of Krishna. So nobody, and Brahmaji is saying all these, nobody is equivalent to Krishna. What to talk about superior to Krishna? So that's the point of this verse, which Lord Brahma is emphasizing in this. So when we talk about this, that even when the devotees, when the person reach up to the worshipping of Lord Shiva, then Lord Shiva guides that person to how to become a devotee, how to become devotee of Lord Krishna. There is a very nice story that how an old Brahmana, he was a worshipper, old poor Brahmana, he was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva came in front of him and he asked, please give me the most precious thing in this universe. And then Lord Shiva said, okay, for that you have to go to Sanatana Goswami, who is doing his bhajan, or who is doing his tapasya or his devotion in Vrindavan. So go there. So that old poor Brahmana went there and asked Sanatana Goswami, and Sanatana Goswami pointed to the garbage. And in that garbage, there was a gem, which we call Parasamani or touchstone. And he became so happy. And then he came back home and he touched everything with that touchstone, and everything started becoming gold. He was very happy. And then he thought, Lord Shiva fulfilled my all desires. But then after a second, he started thinking to himself, but wait a minute, if it is such an important thing, then why that Goswami, that touchstone, why this touchstone was sitting in the garbage? And then after realizing that, he just went back to Sanatana Goswami, and then he asked, why this was in a garbage can and why you look so happy? And then Sanatana Goswami said, and he asked Sanatana Goswami, do you have something more precious than this? And then Sanatana Goswami said, yes, I have that thing through which you will never ever have to ask anything from anyone. So if you want to know that, please throw this stone in the Yamuna and then come back. And then he did that. And then Sanatana Goswami gave him the knowledge of Bhagavatam. So, and in various instances, we can see in Bhagavatam also, for Prachetas, Lord Shiva, how Lord Shiva gave them the prayer to impress Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. So Lord Shiva, because he is himself the devotee of the Lord. So when we come into contact with the Bhagavat, living Bhagavat, devotee of the Lord, then that Bhagavat, Lord Shiva, he directs us, or he directs the person towards Lord Krishna. So that's the process which Srila Prabhupada is explaining in this. So, but the point is, sometimes people, or sometimes when we try to explain this philosophy, or when we try to explain the fact, people don't want to hear, because according to them, this deity is their Ishtadev, or this deity's particular deity is their worshipable deity from years and years, from their ancestors, and from their ancestors and ancestors who even don't know why, who even didn't know why they are worshipping particular deity. So, but we have to pay respects to everything, everybody, every living creature. Even we should be paying our respects to the lower species of life. Why? Because as devotees of the Lord, we know that in each and everyone's heart, Lord Krishna is situated, or Lord Krishna is there as Paramatma form, as the Lord of the body, or as the Lord, all-pervasive Lord, Paramatma is there. So as devotee of the Lord, we should pay respects to everybody. So even Prabhupada mentioned, Srila Prabhupada mentioned about Shani Dev and Shitala Mata, who is the goddess of chicken pox, and who is the goddess of smallpox. And last year I was hearing that even in India, in many places, not in one place, in many places, they establish the temples of Corona Devi, or goddess of Corona. So, and they start worshipping. There is a worship going on in Corona temples. They are worshipping the deity, and the name of the deity is goddess of Corona. And they are worshipping, and they are asking the blessing so that they don't get infected by this disease of Corona. The similar thing which Srila Prabhupada is giving in the purport. So, I'm sure that after 50 years from today, Corona temples will become, and the Corona deity will become a very established deity, and it will become one of the religion in India. So, Srila Prabhupada has warned all of us again and again that we should not get stuck, or anybody who is following the process, and even those people who are not following the process, we can guide that we should not get stuck in the wonderful things or the magical things of some yogis, or some mystic yogis who can walk on the water, who can become big and small. We should not get stuck in the wonders of that, but we should also, a devotee should also remember that whatever energy whatever energy this person is displaying is nothing, but it is from Krishna himself. It is just a spark, as Krishna is mentioning, that it is just a spark, a very little spark of his various energies. So Krishna is like a rich father of all of us. But sometimes what happens, if a small child, he get lost in a crowd, and then he start then he feels hungry. What he's going to do? He will beg, because he is away from his rich father, and anyone who will give him $1, he will think that that person is my savior. So similarly, Lord Krishna is the supreme rich father, who is all rich, all famous, all powerful, all renunciate, everything. Krishna has everything in him. And we, as lost child, as the lost, forgetful, conditioned souls, we are roaming around in this world, and we are happy in getting $1 and from any of the powerful person, and we are getting so impressed by looking the wonders of this material world. We're getting so impressed, and we are thinking, okay, this is the president of particular country. Oh, how powerful he is! A very beautiful and successful TV star. Oh, wow, how powerful it is! But we can see that nobody is possessing any any of the six powers, six opulences. They are out of question. Even somebody is beautiful and rich, two things: that person will not be renunciate, that person will not be so powerful, that person may not be famous. But Krishna, as Lord Brahma is explaining in this verse, that Lord Shri Krishna, he has everything in full all the time. We can see that Brahma, why Brahmaji is saying, because Brahmaji is explaining this from his own experience. So Brahmaji, right now I am just talking whatever I have read. I am talking on the basis of that, but I have not realized anything. But Brahmaji, when Brahmaji is talking, he is talking from his experience. Brahmaji also got trapped into Brahmaji also got trapped into the illusionary power of the Lord, and he wanted to unite with his own daughter, Walk, which we read in further chapters. But we should not minimize the position of Brahma by hearing this. We should understand that these things happen just to teach all of us a lesson, that even Brahma ji, who can make anything happen in this world, from whose skin all the sound, everything is coming, whose body is made up of intelligence, still he can fall down, and still he is not equivalent to Lord. And that is what Brahmaji is explaining. And there is another class of people who just who accepts everything, and they accept that the supreme person, not the person, but the supreme intelligence is something else. And they start thinking that Lord is impersonal. He has no form. And for them, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that how it is possible that this world, which has a form, is coming from a formless father. Can it have been, if in our material experience, we can see that a cat is not born out of a human being. So similarly, how can this world, which has form, is coming out from a formless, is coming out from something which is formless? But there are three stages of understanding Lord, and these three stages has been divided because of the understanding. But in that three stages, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan is the absolute truth, and Bhagwan is the only person through which everything is coming. Janmadasya yataha, first words of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1. So sometimes we think that I got this question, that how come you always quote from Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and explaining Bhagavatam? So devotees, they usually take their own Puranas or the things which support their statement, and just disregard all other Puranas. But Vedavyas, who is the incarnation of Lord, Vedavyas, who has divided the Vedas into different sections. Vedavyas, who have written Puranas and Mahabharatas, and Vedavyas is the one who was dissatisfied. Vedavyas is the one who was not happy. Vedavyas is the one who was thinking that I have not done anything after written everything, all the Puranas and everything. He got little chastisement from his guru, Narada Muni. Why it is happening? Because you have taught the Jivatmas, the living entities, how to enjoy further and further without getting the ultimate motive of the life. So write a scripture which is exclusively explaining the glories of the Lord and the glories of his devotees, and then at that time you will feel satisfaction. So that Ved Vyas is writing in the first sloka, in the first verse, that Ved Vyas ji is writing Janmadasya Yataha, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everything is coming from him. All the emanations are coming from him. He is Satyam Paramadevahi. He is the supreme, and not only Vedavyas, others, Narada, Asita, Devala, they also agree to this point, as Arjuna mentions in his in 10th chapter, when Arjuna is mentioning this, after hearing that how everything is nothing, anything or everything is coming from Krishna, he is saying Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, Adi Devam Ajas Vidum. And not only that, if we say, okay, we are not, we do not take these evidences which Ved Vyas is saying. If we go into Shiv Purana, we can see that how Lord Shiva is the supreme. Then we can see in Padma Puran and also in so many literatures, Shivji, Lord Shiva, is telling his wife Uma that how, my dear Uma, I am just the qualitative incarnation of the Lord, but the actual Lord is Vishnu. He is the supreme. And in the prayers of Prachetas and in so many places, we see in the chapter of, in the Canto 10, chapter, I think 62, 63, I'm not sure, where there is a story of Banasur. In that also, when Lord Shiva fights with Krishna, then how the defeat happens of Lord Shiva, and how he accepts that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all these things. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita himself is saying, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. Everything is coming from me. And the ultimate motive of reading Vedas is Vedasya cha sarve aham eva vedyo. Everything, reading of Vedas is only the conclusion, is that is to understand me. But if we are not understanding this, so we are not getting the real meaning or real purpose of Vedas. So that's why Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran is the essence of all the Vedanta Sutras, all the Brahma Sutras, and it is presented to us by Ved Vyas, so that we can just, and Srila Prabhupada many often quotes this, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, you can go back to Godhead, and there is no need to read any other scripture or any other thing. No, there is no need. So it's not like that we are just trying to go back to Krishna. It's Krishna also who is waiting for all of us. There is a story in Lagu Bhagavatamrit, which is written by Sanatana Goswami. There is a story that how a jiva, when he gets his actual swarupa, he goes back to Goloka Vrindavan in the form of cowherd boy, and he went there, and then Krishna saw him, and Krishna started running towards him, and that Gopal started running towards him, and Krishna he just hugged him, and Krishna started crying, and that Gopal started crying, and Krishna is saying, where were you? I was waiting for you. You have taken such a long time to come back to me. If we remember, there is a picture in ISKCON where Krishna is hugging a Gopal, a cowherd boy, and that picture is based on this story. So Krishna is waiting for us, and Krishna is eagerly waiting for all of us to come back, and that's why he's created material world, and why this is another explanation. But in short, Krishna is also waiting for us, but we are taking our own time, because as Prabhupada said, that hog is very busy in eating his stool. Similarly, we are very busy in eating dirty things or relishing the dirty things of this material world. We ourselves don't want to get out of it. We ourselves want to be entangled because we think that we are enjoying. We think that we are enjoyers, but in actuality, we are not the enjoyers. We are, and for that also, Srila Prabhupada has given the example that how in the husband-wife relationship, Prabhupada has said that mainly the husband is the enjoyer. But if we see that both husband and wife enjoys, in the same way, Krishna is the enjoyer, is the ultimate enjoyer. But if we work for his gratification, if we work for the gratification of Krishna, rather than gratifying our own senses, that in that process, we are going to get enjoy, we are going to get pleasure, and that pleasure is imperishable pleasure. That pleasure will not have a tinge of this material distresses of janam mrityu chara vyadi, adhyatmik ati bodhik adhyatma. All these problems we will not face if we serve Krishna, if we surrender to Krishna, because in that process we will go back to Golok Vrindavan and hug Krishna tightly and say, it's a long time, Krishna, now I am back. So the conclusion is one line: Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and all of us should understand it, believe it, have faith on it, and that's what Brahmaji is explaining. Now, thank you so much for the rapt attention. Now I'm going to stop here. Any questions, any comments, any corrections, please let me know. And I'm sorry, I have very limited knowledge in compared to all of you. I cannot speak well, but by the mercy of Krishna and all the blessings from all of you, if I can speak, whatever I spoke today is from my Guru Maharaj, from Acharyas and everybody. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments, or any corrections, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I like your class. Very nice, Mataji. How you explain like the Ridra Narayan and Janta Janardhan, everything was so nice. And the story about the Parashmani. And at last you said like we are like relishing the dirty things in this world, and we don't want to get out of this. That is true. It's very nice way you explain.
Thank you, Mataji.
You
Thank
very
you
well.
for your all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Okay. So, anyone else, any comments? Otherwise,
Only thing is I can say thank you, and it's a very nice class.
thank you, Mataji.
God bless you. Thank you.
So much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna's blessings will be with you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Only this thing.
That's all.
That's all. Thank you, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. So, any other comments? We can wait only for a minute or so, maybe. Or
Oh, I just want to say thank you. A lot of nice information you gave us, and a lot of content in your classes. And you were talking about from the Shastra about how to establish Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. So it's very important because especially by preaching, a lot of people, they don't accept Krishna. He's the only worshipable deities. So by reading this chapter, we can, this the Purusha Sukta chapter, we got a lot of information about establishing Krishna is the only worshipable Lord, and everyone is subordinate to him. Thank you for quoting all these nice verses and give reference from the Shastra.
thank you so much.
To establish
Actually, the name of this chapter is Purusha Sukta confirmed, has been given by Srila Prabhupada. Only the reason is because Purusha Sukta comes in Yajur Veda as well as in Rig Veda, and so many of the verses of this chapter are in the similar lines of Purusha Shukta confirmed. And in Brahmaji is also confirming the authority of that Purusha in this chapter, although he explained about Garbhodakshai Vishnu and Karanodakshai Vishnu, but later on, as we see here, he's including Vishnu in the purport. So we can see that how he's establishing the supremacy of Purusha, of that Purusha, and because the verses are very similar to Purusha Shukta prayers. So that's why this chapter has been named by Srila Prabhupada, Purusha Shukta confirmed. Good that you have mentioned this, Mataji. So I just remembered this. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Thank you so much. Happy Ekadashi. Any more comments or any discussion? Any additions? Or
Thank you, Mataji. Nice
thank
class.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Baba.
Vancha kalpataru.
Sakapatarbhishya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo namo